At the end of the Second World War in 1945, Germany was divided into four occupation zones controlled by the Allied forces, the United States, the United Kingdom, France, and the Soviet Union. The city of Berlin, located in the Soviet zone, was also divided into four sectors. As ideological differences intensified between the capitalist West and the communist East, the division between East and West Germany became more pronounced. In 1949, two separate German states were established: the Federal Republic of Germany, or West Germany, and the German Democratic Republic, or East Germany. On the nights of August 12th and 13th, 1961, East German authorities, with the approval of the Soviet Union, began constructing the Berlin Wall. The wall was built to stem the flow of East Germans fleeing to the more prosperous West. It consisted of concrete barriers, barbed wire, guard towers, and other obstacles. The Berlin Wall physically and ideologically divided families, friends, and a city. Numerous East Germans attempted to escape to the West, with some successful attempts and many tragic failures. The wall became a symbol of the broader Cold War conflict between the communist and capitalist ideologies. However, on November 9, 1989, under immense public pressure and confusion regarding new travel regulations, East German authorities unexpectedly opened the border crossings. Thousands of East and West Berliners celebrated and began tearing down the wall. A year later, on October 3, 1990, the official reunification took place, and Germany became a single sovereign state. The following interview you're about to hear is of a local high school German teacher who was a former American exchange student in the early 90s after the wall fell and reunification took place. These are his stories of culture clashes, peaceful times, and others. I hope you enjoy.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Field Experience with your host, Rick Steves. I'm here at my home district with one of the best teachers they have to offer. This is Herr Joseph Deibel.
Hello. Hi, everyone in TV land.
Yeah. Now, I understand that back in the day, because this is the whole point of this interview is a sort of cultural reflection.
Sure.
And I understand that back in the day, you used to live in Germany.
That is correct, Mr. Steves. I haven't, Rick Steves videos used to be a big part of the curriculum 25 years ago. It's pretty hilarious. So yes, I did live in Germany, 1993, 94. I was part of the push to send American children to the former Eastern Germany to kind of patch up relations and
Sure.
kind of spread Western influence. But yes, so I spent a month in Bavaria on a culture and language program when I first got there. And so that was very westernized, a lot of McDonald's, a lot of, they had Pizza Hut there.
Well, let me ask you,
Sure.
how did Germans react to that? I know that's definitely a big culture clash for them.
It had been there for a while, in Western Germany, those things weren't very new. So
Right.
they had kind of become commonplace. Whereas obviously when I moved to the former East, the first McDonald's opened there in the spring and it was an hour and a half away. And my host family, we went to go see it, because it was such a novelty. So big difference.
Now, coming from the Americas, how did the reaction, or how did the East Germans blend, basically accept you, or what was their reactions to a foreigner or an American?
That's a good question. I think it was kind of divided. There were people that were, I don't know, kind of very Easterly in their beliefs that were kind of anti-Western,
Sure.
and that was part of the underlying goal of the East Germans was to demonize the West, and so I think there were a lot of people that kind of went along with that, kind of oh, this American, who does he think he is, or they kind of felt like I represent America. But there were also people that treated me like a celebrity, especially a lot of the teenagers. The teenagers were very fascinated by Western culture, and most of them had never talked to somebody, or had, back then there was no internet. So, how would you learn about Western culture without talking to an American?
Sure.
So, yeah, so it was a mixture for sure.
Okay. Did you notice any clash between the Eastern Germans and the Western Germans, well, former East and West?
Well, even in at my school in the former East, there were a group of like left versus right kids,
Yes.
and I was actually at a community center on a Friday night with a group of my friends, and they were the leftist kids,
Sure.
and a group of the rightist kids showed up, and there was actually a brawl. There was a big brawl at the community center between the lefts and the rights.
I see.
But there was also at that time, there was a lot, there's still something today we call demauern, off the wall in your head.
Yes.
And there are still people that live a kilometer away from one another that lived on the sides of the border, that still hate each other because they're Easterners or Westerners, even though to us it's been one country for 30-something years. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Because the wall came down in 1990, right?
correct.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. Okay, cool. And I guess sort of just one last question to, your experience, as a student at the time, just going into a recently united country, what were your thoughts and reactions initially?
I think I was kind of too dumb to know what I was getting into. I mean,
Sure.
I was a 16-year-old high school teenager, had never been outside of the country
Sure.
really.
Yeah.
And so I think that was a good way to go in because I was too dumb to know that some people were really going to hate me, or that some, or that some people would really be anti-West. But that was good because I didn't have a lot of fear. So I would go into
Yeah.
situations and talk to anybody, or kind of interact with anybody without fear of them not liking me or something. So I didn't have a lot of expectations. To me, I went to Germany because it had to be better than Penn Hills. So
Sure.
and yeah, but yeah, it was a great learning experience. Learned a lot.
This is being filmed in Pittsburgh, so if you're from the Pittsburgh area and you know Penn Hills, that probably resonates with you.
Yes, absolutely.
Not to diss Penn Hills or anything. But no, sweet. Well, I appreciate your time here. And,
Absolutely.
I'm actually a former student of his, so I'm happy to come back and ask him these questions for this assignment. But I think that should about do it for the episode. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
All right, sweet. Well, I think that's a